All right, so we're going to be looking into example 2 where we're finding the vertex uh, by, uh, by using the vertex formula and then using that to determine the standard form. So just a reminder, the standard form is the following. It's f of x. We're going to try to put in f of x, a x minus h squared plus k. That's the form we're looking for. That is the standard form. Okay, so let's go ahead and work our way to that point. Realize and remember that that the HK is the location of the vertex. So what we're actually going to do is use the vertex formula and directly look at the function f of x in this form. And we're going to pull information out and plug it into the vertex formula, this being the vertex formula right here. Have this handy. This is a very useful tool to use, and realize that it's used to find the vertex. And so if we find the vertex using this formula directly from this form, we can plug our h and k value because this is h and this is k. And I'll show you what I mean. It's a little weird to think to look at it like this, but realize we're just solving for h and k directly from this formula and plugging it into the standard form. So again, this is the standard form right here. So we're going to put in that form, and then A is, we just know what that is already. So let's start the problem. Okay, as I mentioned, we know A already. We know that A is equal to 2. So as you can see, all we need to do is determine what H is and what K is, and we're done. So let's use the vertex formula to determine what H and K are for this. So we can say that the vertex is located at x equals negative b over 2a. I'll just write that down. That's the vertex formula. And we know from this that that a is the number in front of the x squared. So a is equal to 2. I already wrote that down here, but and then b is equal to negative 8. The number in front of the x term, and then and remember the sign, the negative goes with it. And then c, we don't actually need this because it's not part of our formula, but c is the constant. It's the number out in front with no x in front of it or behind it. And so we can find now the x coordinate of our vertex is negative b over 2a. That's equal to negative b. Negative b is negative, or b is negative 8, then that's over 2, and then times a is 2. So very common mistake is just to get confused with the signs. So realize it's negative b. Since b is negative, we're taking the opposite of a negative number. Okay, so let's simplify this. So we know that this is equal to 8 over 4, which is equal to 2. All right, so we've actually determined what our h is. So realize that h is our x coordinate. So we've determined that this tells us that h is equal to 2. And then we can also solve for the our k, which is f of negative b over 2a. So we know that the y coordinate of our vertex is f of negative b over 2a. So we know what negative b over 2a is. It's 2. We just found that out. So negative b over 2a is 2. So we're actually solving for f of 2. So to do this, we need to plug this into our function, evaluated at 2. So this would be 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 3. So let's simplify this. So square 2, that gives us 4. So 2 times 4. 8 times 2 is 16, so minus 16 plus 3. Multiply the 2 by 4, we get 8 minus 16 plus 3. We want to work left to right now. So 8 minus 16 is negative 8 plus 3 is negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. So we've determined that our k, again, this is our k value, our k is equal to -5. So our vertex is located at, so just to be consistent with what I was doing before, k is equal to -5. So we've determined that our vertex is located at 2, -5. The coordinate point is 2, -5. And you'll notice if you use Desmos and graph this function right here, you'll note if you hover over the vertex located at the lowest or highest point of our, in this case it would be the lowest point of our graph, you'll see that 2, -5 will come up if you highlight over the bottom point of our graph. Okay, so that's our vertex, and then we also now know our h, our k, and we know our a value. So we can go directly into our standard form. So the standard form for the quadratic function is f of x equals a, which is 2, x minus h is 2. Remember, it's always minus, it's the opposite sign, and then you square that, plus k. So plus a -5, so that's just -5. All right, so there's the standard form. You should notice that this graph will look exactly like this graph. So we found the correct standard form. All right, let me know if you have any concerns, and I'll be more than happy to help.